Vikings. We are back, baby. We are back. And we are ready to go to talk about this incredible 31-29 victory over the Minnesota Vikings on the road in Minnesota. The Lions take first place in the NFC, the first seed through the first 7 weeks of the season. Your Detroit Lions. They moved to 5-1 after a victory over Minnesota, and we're going to be breaking down everything about this incredible, really just fun game to watch. And before we do that, we have the whole Blue Kool Aid crew here, like even the OG. So we got but let me go around to everybody that's here. We got UJ.
Greetings and salutations.
Bob.
What's up, everybody?
Run Dog.
Yo.
And then, hey, who's that guy? It's
Hey, everybody.
Connor.
Oh,
Thanks for having me back.
Welcome back to the pod.
Always a pleasure to be
Connor.
here, Big Z. Thanks for having me.
A fun one to talk about, no doubt. I want to start this off by I want to talk about Jared Goff in this game. I thought he had his best game of the year in this one. And that includes a game where he went 18 for 18 with 260 yards and multiple touchdowns against the Seahawks. I just thought he looked in complete command. This is the best defense, or a defense that's been giving riddles that quarterbacks can't solve throughout the entirety of this season, like the likes of C.J. Stroud, etc. Really struggling against this Vikings team. But Jared Goff and Ben Johnson in this offense was owning them.
yeah, but he can run.
But so Bob, I want to I'll throw it over to you. Just what do you think about Jared Goff's performance in this game and his command of this offense?
Oh yeah, it's all clicking now with Ben Johnson and Jared Goff and all the receivers, running backs. Goff he's MVP level right now, and it's his trophy to lose at this point if he keeps playing like this. So
I told you in our predictions episode that he was 40-1. So like before the season, he's 40-1. He is down to 6-1 in the MVP odds now. He is the fourth lowest odds. It goes Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen,
That's so
and
weird.
Jared Goff.
Like,
so
when we traded for him, I never thought that.
and I don't even know why Mahomes is in the lead. He's actually had a terrible season.
Yeah,
he is 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions on the year. But they're the only undefeated team left. Right? Yeah, exactly. It'd just be really bizarre if he won with kind of horrible stats. Jared Goff with 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the year. But I'll throw this over now to you, Jay. Just a little bit about Jared Goff in this game.
Okay. This is getting so much fun to watch this guy right now. And see, you'll have all the stats, but he is doing otherworldly stats right now that no one's ever even seen before. I mean, this 18 touchdowns for our offense to 16 incompletions in the last 4 games. That's just mind-boggling to me. It's just mind-boggling.
It hasn't happened in the merger era.
Not to mention his quarterback rating in the last few games. I think him and Brady are the only people to ever do that stat. You know, so many 80% completions or something like that, and 140 rating or better in the last 3 or 4 games. Only Brady has done that. I can't remember the exact stat. You'll probably correct me on that. But Goff is so in command now. The play he threw a lot. He had a lot of great plays in this game, but the one that got me was I think when he was under the heavy rush and that guy had his hand on his shoulder, almost ripped him down, and he just casually, in the most casually way, just stepped up into that pocket and hit Tim Patrick on a dime in tight coverage. He just threw it, just a perfect pass, and it's just such command. It's just so brilliant, so much fun to watch right now.
That was when Jonathan Grenard came off the edge, hit him in the hand.
Yep.
Just missed the ball, but the hitting him on the hand let him keep it, and kept nice and high and tight. It was so Jared Goff against the blitz in this game. Which when Jared Goff was signed by the Lions, one of the knocks on him was like he's terrible under pressure, blah blah. But under pressure this week at the very least, 10 for 11, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's pressured on 51% of his dropbacks in this game, so he's under pressure a ton. That doesn't include like the rest of his pressure numbers throughout the rest of the year as well, which has been elite. Jackie, is that what you or Rud Dog? Sorry, is that what you've been saying? I know,
Some weird names in there.
Who the hell's that?
See, I think that stat gets so overblown. You know who else is really bad with consistent pressure in their face? All quarterbacks in the NFL.
But I'm saying he's good.
I'm saying that whole stat's been overconflated because if you actually look against the blitz, he's stellar. It's actually 4-man rush pressure or less that he where he gets beat. But that's every quarterback. That's Tom Brady against the Giants in the Super Bowl, a top defensive line get in your face. Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point, but Jared Goff, to my mind, is an elite quarterback. He's I'm not going to go and say the GOAT, but a GOAT. That man is playing as good as any, quarterback all time. He's playing at an all-time high level. He's elite. He processes, put him with Manning, put him with Brady. I know the accolades aren't there yet, but the way this is trending, this man is going to walk into the Hall of Fame breezy, easy. He's playing so damn good. And it's at a level that is sustainable because it's just the way he plays. He's so steady, so rock steady and consistent, and his attitude is stellar. You can't say enough good things. I feel like Dan Campbell. I'm glad he's on our team. He's so good.
Connor, what do you see out of Jared Goff this year that maybe we didn't see even last year, or definitely 2 years ago? But maybe it's Ben Johnson.
I think he's continuing to step up in the pocket and be very confident there. I also think he's stretching the ball downfield a little bit more. That obviously comes with J-Mo's emergence, and our Irish receiver Tim Patrick has been a revelation too. I don't know on that touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, beautiful dot. But J-Mo, I don't know if you saw up the other side, has completely shredded his own guy. So he had his pick of the crop, and he went for the harder throw, and it was perfect. So I think he's just at an all-time high with his confidence. And I think Ben Johnson and him together, they don't think anyone can stop them. And I don't think they're going to face a harder defense than the Vikings, at least till the playoffs. So thought this was an A-plus test for him.
Yeah, and I think this is another reason why it was just so great to get Ben Johnson back for another year, because him and Goff are just really on the same page with everything in terms of this offense. Just and there's so much creativity too that maybe you don't even catch when watching a game. But on that touchdown pass to Amon-Ra, Tim Patrick motions out, then he motions back in, and he blocks Van Ginkel, who's their defensive player of the year candidate on the Vikings. Just this interesting wrinkle in protection that they definitely weren't expecting a wide receiver to block one of their edge rushers in Van Ginkel.
Another advantage
that allowed
of the
enough
big
time
receiver.
you don't see a wide receiver taking on an edge rusher too much in pass protection. So another
what other
for Tim
receiver would
Patrick.
we? We didn't have anyone hit that big.
Just little wrinkles like that. Just the constant use of they were motioning I think J-Mo all the way almost to the sideline. It was just a diversion on a counter play. It didn't work, but just the way the Lions are thinking constantly and trying to do things, even if it's fake punts on their own 30 again.
That was
completely backfired this time.
Hey, I think he does
Dan
it on
Campbell's a high
purpose.
rate of success with those. It did not work out that time.
Theory.
He
did it on purpose. Remember that story that general that made his guys burn the boats so they had to fight? So
yes.
I think he just did that on purpose. So we fail on our own 30. Good. Let's put our backs against the wall early, man. Why not? Who cares?
UJ, I felt the same way. It felt like you want to see how good we are. The Vikings are crushing teams by jumping out to these lightning starts and making everyone fail to come back. We'll spot them a few, and then we'll show you what we got. And then we'll make it hard at the end too by giving you the lead again. A few seconds left or minutes left. No, I don't know, but man, talk about just rolling with the punches this week.
Definitely. And Jared Goff was almost on pace for 18 start again until the ball was tipped at the line on the one play to go for 18 for 18. But either way, just complete command. There was only on both sides a total of 8 incompletions in this game. So
wow.
Even Sam Darnold on the other side had himself a pretty decent game as well.
Yeah.
But sticking on the offensive side, another man that really stepped up because Monty, he got a little banged up early on. Just didn't quite look like himself after that. Just looked a little off. And Jahmyr Gibbs really stepped up in this game. And that touchdown run, the longest of his career, the 45-yarder that really sprung forward this offense, was just an absolutely elite.
Oh, yeah. When he juked he juked that guy on the outside.
That was awesome.
I forgot the player he juked, but
Dirty.
once he did that
Cameron
move, man,
Bynum.
he was
Yeah.
gone.
No catching
There was
him.
like no looking back, man. It was
Yeah, it was
sick.
funny how
And that's
like
why
that
you draft
block
a guy
into the
like
end zone
Gibbs
was
that
so-
high.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was for it. So
Yeah, he was also used late in the game to ice it too, to take the lead down the sideline on that little dump route.
Well, right. I don't know how he couldn't at
Speed.
that point. He looked like the better running back out there.
Oh, he
uh,
was.
It was
today.
obvious. I
It
agree.
was
He
his
was
day.
the hot hand today. That was his breakout game. That was Jahmyr Gibbs' breakout game. His most complete performance, and I think we've seen yet. He hasn't had very many 100-yard rushings, let alone a home run hit like that, which was just we've all been waiting for. We knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And man, is it a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, he had 160 all-purpose yards, 116 on the ground on 15 carries only, and then 44 yards receiving on 4 catches. So
Monty did make a stellar play though. That catch.
Oh yeah, he did early on, yeah, for
nice
sure.
one-handed catch.
It was sick.
He did have the fumble, which you rarely see out of him.
Yeah.
That was a
Very
killer to see. I'm glad the
uncharacteristic.
team could rally around to make him, not hang his head down after the game after that type of
Yes.
mistake late in
Yeah,
the game.
that was brutal.
He's buying everybody some coffee or something on Monday. He's probably maybe some cars. I don't know what they do, but yeah, they bailed him out.
And of course, a big shout out to Jake Bates, the game-winning field goal. He got the game
Very
ball,
nice.
one of the game balls in the locker
Yeah.
room after. Just really cool to see. This guy is so untested, really, in his career. He passed a big test right there
Yeah.
for sure.
That was.
I know.
very
Z,
big.
I've been waiting for him to get an opportunity to kick a long field goal or a critical field goal, and they've done a good job just kind of working him in. I mean, he's been making all his field goals, missed one extra point this year is all,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the first real clutch thing. And did you hear Campbell talking about how they practice with him and they're always yelling at him and they're putting all kinds of pressure and noise.
I
And,
love it.
and he said he's just cool, his cucumber. So that's why they're so confident in him to make that kick. Because they weren't even playing for the touchdown; they were just trying to run the clock down.
I know.
Right? And it was they could have gained
Greg
some more
Olson
yards.
was
It
throwing a
wasn't
fit
a short
because they
field goal.
were.
But-
He's like, "Do the Lions even know they're down?" I'm like, I think they know they're down.
Yeah,
Um,
I like Volson, but I thought he had a bad
Yeah.
game this game.
Yeah, he was calling out things that weren't there sometimes.
Yeah,
Because he always likes to make you think he sees everything on the field and reacting to it. But he was reacting to he would circle something that wasn't there. I don't know. Yeah, Greg Olson off
Not his
game
best,
for him. The announcer had an off game.
yeah.
We brought up Tim Packers has just been a really solid signing all around.
Rock
Yep.
solid.
But it was good to see Khalif Raymond have himself a little bit of a
Leave.
game here on offense too.
Yeah.
He's been a little quiet.
Yeah.
There's only so much left to go around every game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Laporta
no
has still
kidding.
been relatively quiet this year.
J-Mo didn't get a target
compared to
today,
last
I
year.
don't think. Or
He had
yesterday.
one target.
Yeah,
Laporta
and
had
he
a
lost
nice-
4 yards.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was a
that's right.
reverse or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
right?
Laporta,
Anyway.
I just feel like there's so many mouths to feed on this offense. It's just like
It is.
So-
That's
I don't
what it
think
is.
he's playing any worse
Yeah.
than last year. I mean, do I regret trading up for him in
No.
fantasy? Maybe a little bit, but it's not
Yeah,
because he's
right.
not the same player. I just think there's so many mouths to feed now.
Sometimes it's
said it.
dictated by the
Right.
defense, though. I mean,
Connor,
he'll probably have games where he, has 8-9 catches, but it's just not happened yet.
I just don't know. I think if you look at these games Goff's putting together, this run offense is I'm sure games will look different. Maybe that'll happen, but fantasy wise, we have too many handcuffs. All our players are canceling each other out, and we are making explosive plays and having really efficient drives. In our run game so good that none of our receivers are getting a ton. J-Mo barely did anything, and he's been tearing it up. Look at Laporta. You hide him, and then you hit him for a 52-yard touchdown pass. You don't even need him every game as a target. It's amazing what we got going on. We got a gluttony of targets right now.
a gluttony of targets.
Gluttony.
A plethora, would you say?
Yeah, just. It
Plethora.
all starts up the middle,
We
right?
had
Too. Zeitler didn't play in this
Plethora
game,
is a
but
good
our
word.
backup right guard, he continues to play at a really good level as a fill-in right guard. So Lions have some good depth on the offside. Now we haven't lost any of our tackles yet. If that was to happen that'd be a certain test. But
Yeah. Owasika had a rough start to the game.
He rebounded
a couple
well.
Penalties.
yeah, I was worried it was going to go like they were throwing a lot of penalties early on in this game. It was kind of getting a little ridiculous at one point. No, nobody likes to see that. I was starting to wonder if it was like the Bills Jets refs from I don't know if you guys watched the Monday night game last week with the Bills and Jets where they had 25 accepted penalties between the two teams. Nobody likes that. Like nobody likes watching football like that.
Nobody likes being subjected to the Jets every week too.
What an
kidding.
What a
Very
predictable
true.
season.
Yeah,
Very true.
But
It's kind of like the Bears being in prime time every year when nobody wants to watch them play either. So.
Yeah, at least they have a rookie.
speaking of the O-line, I thought Decker had one of his worst games for us. Speaking,
this is rough.
Not his best.
Rough game.
I don't know if he's injured or what.
Greenard gave him some fits.
He
Well,
got
that
blown up a
Greenard
few
dude,
times.
they kept calling him one of the best in the league right now, and I think he's a good player. And he was just hitting
Greenard.
Decker with some good stuff.
Jonathan Grenard,
It
really
did
good DM.
cause the thought across my mind to like, do you do like a switching of ends there, like at some point in the not too distant future if Decker and Sewell, it's Sewell man the blind side.
What?
But,
we still have one of those powerful offenses in football. And you want to
I'm
switch
saying
things
in the
up now?
future.
No.
I'm not saying right
No.
now. I'm talking
Decker
about
will
like
never
next
play
year
right
or the
tackle.
year after.
God damn it!
I don't
Red
think Decker's literally played there for what 8 years
His
now.
whole career.
Like he's not going to
Yeah,
do
but
it
he ain't
right
a
side
spring
at this
chicken is
point.
all
He
I'm
never
saying.
will.
He'll like block the complete wrong direction because they'll think he's on the left side every
Yeah,
time.
Anyway, it just wasn't one of his best performances. I would agree with Connor.
Hey, they
No,
struggled
it
against a
wasn't.
good team. You know, I mean, it was a
It
battle.
was a good defense.
It was
a
a
really
battle,
good
and
defense.
we lost a few reps in that one. So what? We in the end
But,
we were the better team. So
That's
what
where like
matters.
Goff is is so valuable because he picked that defense apart. Like, and Campbell talked about putting all that on his plate. Like, they gave him way more like checks and stuff at the line this week to like anticipate their fluidity and like, man, talk about excelling.
UJ, I had a question for you, or for all of you as a general. You're talking about how we're the better team. I felt that going in. Like, I thought
so did I.
We're on the road against an undefeated team, but I felt really confident in this game. And even when they were down in the game, I was figuring like, oh, they're going to win. I just don't know how. Like, it's just a different feeling with the Lions this year, than it has been in the
I
past.
agree with you.
Definitely.
Isn't it weird hearing the talking heads say we're good too? Because they really think we're good now.
Yeah.
And
Because
but then in our lifetimes, have we ever heard such talk? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
no.
And I don't even know if I'm believing what I'm hearing, but I'm seeing it with my eyes. And yet, this team, we're just better. We are a better team than probably almost anybody out there right now. We're deeper.
Yeah.
We're more committed. We have talent everywhere. I mean, even losing Hutch, they filled in by committee a little bit, but they did an admirable job, I thought, overall. So yeah, I mean, we got a really good team, man. We're just loaded.
And you know what, UJ, like to go on top of that, it's not like the qualifying talk that you used to get, like, oh, it's like the Lions, they're pretty good for the Lions. Like, it's just
Right.
they're just talking about a good team, and it's the Lions, and it's like accepted now, and it's amazing.
Well, right, they're
and,
a popular Super Bowl pick this year. I mean, they are the favorites to be the 1 seed in the
that'd be
NFC,
incredible.
and they look like the best team in the NFC.
I think they are.
do.
I think this was a statement game for that matter. Like, this was the game that told everybody, because I think the season goes in phases, and I think you're going to see a lot of teams flip in what they looked like in the first phases of the season here, where like the good teams will start to look bad and the bad teams will start to look good. But the Lions, I think, just showed everybody they're exactly who we thought they are, and they're just going to keep going steady Eddie and roll over everybody in their path.
Yeah, 7 weeks into the season, you
Yeah.
kind of know who you are
I
as
feel
a football
like-
team.
Yeah.
I feel at this point, and the Lions are.
I feel like
elite.
the NFC North
seen
is gonna
flips.
it cannot sustain its current level of overall success, though.
Someone's
the
a
Bears
pretender,
are gonna have
probably.
to start.
If the
to
Bears
come
keep
down.
playing 1-4, 1-5 teams,
Yeah.
they can continue. But
The Vikings and
Right.
Packers are both good, but the Bears, they gotta fall off at some point.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
I think
division.
that
It is a good division.
yeah, the Vikings are picked last
It
to
is.
finish in this division, but they look legit. Like they're going to be
I think so.
around probably.
No
for
one
the playoffs,
anticipated
so.
Sam Darnold's emergence.
Yeah, I mean he had a good game. I thought
He did all right.
he threw a lot of pretty nice passes where only his guy could catch it, even if they're tough catches at times.
He had an easy first down on that pick.
Now the exception, the exception, of course,
Oh.
and the guy I wanted to bring up, my roar of the week flipping it over to the other side is Brian Branch. This guy is
Yeah.
just everywhere, and that includes an almost forced fumble that went for a
Super
touchdown.
stud.
That I got so jacked up for that.
Oh my
I-
gosh.
so disheartened to see that was turned over. It was the right call, but just disheartening.
Team of
nonetheless.
inches.
But man, he is just so instinctual out there. Everything you saw in like his draft film, and this is—I feel like I'm repeating what I said last week, but he's just like, how did we get this guy 44? Still amazes
No
me.
kidding. No kidding.
A lot of people, all the draft
Mind-blown.
scouts had high grades on him, yet he fell all the way Lions. It's
Because
just,
he's
it's just
slow,
amazing.
He's slow.
But he's
Don't you
definitely
know?
playing at an all-pro level, which we haven't had out of that position in a long time.
We have
Who
an
is
answer
Louis
to
Delmas?
crossing routes for the first time I can recall. Like 2 crossing routes ending in interceptions in back-to-back weeks. That used to be like our kryptonite.
He made a really nice
beautiful.
catch on that play too, man. On that
Yeah.
Really nice.
pick.
Really
The way
nice.
he gets
Elite-
into phase
elite.
with the route, like it's insane. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to watch. He's a pretty humble guy too. It's just really fun to watch the secondary. Terrion Arnold was matched up a couple times. Jefferson, I thought he did pretty good out
Yeah.
there as well. There's a deep pass where he locked him down pretty good.
Mhm.
Jefferson is still, you can tell why he's the
Ridiculous.
best receiver in football though.
Yeah.
That man just catches everything.
good.
Yeah.
And I forgot to. Well, now that I mentioned, Amon Ra also catches everything. We did not mention him. He had a great game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he had
fantastic.
8 catches, 112 yards, 8 catches on 8 targets. So whatever supposed whining or something he was doing at the end of the
Yeah,
game
right.
last
Yeah.
week.
He claims he
I think
wasn't.
Best
he's
game
okay
of his
now.
season.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
in his podcast. He's like, "What was everybody
EQ
talking
it-
about?"
Wait,
Like,
what
I
are you
celebrated
talking
a touchdown and went back to my
His
bench.
brother was on him. He was saying how he was definitely mad, but
They
don't
said
know.
Because he's like
Yeah.
ranting to the team about something, but he's.
Hey, we were
it's
talking
hard to
about that
tell.
last week, though. Apparently, he ran over and threw the ball toward the Dallas bench or something.
Yeah, I
Some
got
weird
this when he
thing
got
like
the
that.
flag. Remember?
And he got flagged for it. But they didn't show it on camera though, so we
No,
didn't get
not
to
at the
see it,
time.
but- and
I thought he was
he,
doing the
like,
Dallas
tossed him
Star
the ball,
celebration. I thought
like,
that would have
here
been
you go.
like he did to the
Yeah.
sideline,
yeah,
not to the refs. A little taunting. It's good.
can't take a joke. Come on, guys.
But what do
he
you
just thought that
guys
was
think
his
of this
best game
Lions
yet.
defensive performance in this game?
It was good.
I think they really missed touch
Yeah,
one
of course
weekend.
they did.
Yeah.
no
that-
doubt.
I thought our pass rush outside of here's our sacks. One by Rodrigo, one by Campbell, one by Nowoski again, and one by Pascal. The Pascal one looked like it was in slow motion, but he got it there.
Yep.
Pascals.
Yeah, he was unblocked off the edge.
The sacks are fine.
It's not like he had like a pass rush win. He was just unblocked off the edge and the good
He
coverage.
is playing
still
good
got
though,
it.
but that
You know,
was
pressures need to be up. I mean,
Yeah.
the sack
Good win.
number was fine, but they're not getting nearly as many pressures as they were with Hutch.
Yeah, Connor, I
needs to
agree
be
with you.
addressed.
He had too much. There were too many plays where Darnold seemed to have a lot of time back there to survey the field, more than
But if
we've
that
seen
ends in
lately.
interceptions,
You know,
it's
when
okay.
Hutch was in there, so
Yeah.
slightly
And
concerned.
we were talking.
Go ahead.
I know we were talking about this before. The Lions have inquired about Zadarius Smith, who I've mentioned on this podcast before as like a possible target for the Lions. He's older; he's like 32, but ex Vikings, ex Packers, D end, 4 sacks on the year this year. What kind of compensation would you guys be comfortable giving up for him? Because in this article as well, I believe it's on ESPN or. Trying to remember, like Nowoski was thrown out there as a possible trade chip. I don't think the Lions would get rid of him though. I think they would do draft compensation if anything.
I'd give him
No,
draft.
they like his
compensation
trajectory
personally.
too much.
What would you be comfortable giving up for the likes of Zadarius Smith, a
I'd
fourth
give him a
rounder?
fourth
James
rounder.
Houston in a 4th rounder.
Fourth rounder.
James Houston would be fine. He is a non-factor. now.
Houston, I feel much less strongly about. I agree.
Yeah.
But a 4th rounder
Houston's
seems high for a
Lions days feel
32-year-old.
like they're ending to me. Like even if he stays on the roster.
I want a fire sale with Miles Garrett coming
Oh,
over.
man, that's-
I like
So,
that
That'd be my
much
dream
better.
one.
That is not out of the realm of possibility.
The
I know,
problem
I was
with that is
Bum Watson went down.
there's a dead cap situation if they get rid of him for the Browns and
Yeah. Oh,
the way
yeah.
they restructured his contract. That would be
Well,
amazing.
maybe they can get some kind of deal where the Browns eat part of it. The Browns make a lot of stupid choices anyway. I mean, they might
Yeah.
be willing to eat
yeah,
part of
that's
it.
part of the reason I think he might be available.
We'll give him a Hendon Hooker.
The
for
head
Myles
coach
Garrett.
is probably really happy about that ACL injury. He's like, he can finally start a different quarterback now. It's tough.
Oh my God.
Would you guys trade Hendon Hooker for Myles Garrett?
Hell yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would.
I love Hendon Hooker as a backup.
Hendon Hooker will never.
I
would
think
be
it would
a
actually be
starter
a
for the
smart
Lions.
trade
Yes.
for the Browns.
The Lions have that would take up.
Goff is too
You had to
good.
get really creative with the cap space situation with that one.
Right.
Not out of the realm of possibilities, but
I don't want to trade.
I don't see
Hooker
the Lions
away,
doing
but-
that type of trade personally.
Yeah,
it doesn't
no.
seem like a trade they would do. They're not the Jets, you know.
Did you guys see the way
No.
Aaron Glenn was adjusting this week? Though they had to blitz a lot more,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and that's
which is
what we-
unusual for them. And I don't know if that's sustainable. So I'm hoping they add somebody, probably not Myles Garrett, but somebody impactful.
They seem to be running almost more like a 3-4 at times this week. Like I looked like out there. So I mean, it could be these linebackers. They got some intriguing guys to step up. Nowaski and even Houston. I'm curious. I'm not ready to give up on Houston. I mean, he's certainly not impressing right now. But I like that he's just finally getting reps and staying healthy. Let's just start with that and see what he can do. I don't want exactly charity any bodies on our defensive line right now. Let's not go there to add people. We need bodies.
Yeah, I want to ask Connor something real quick because he's back on the
Oh,
pod.
boy.
Famous Aaron Glenn.
Oh yeah.
Get rid of the guy a couple years ago. But I just want to point out one thing that Glenn did, which I thought was
Last
amazing. It was a good move at the end of the game when they had they rushed nobody.
Yeah.
And then and they had like 10 guys covering, so they were like just churning clock while
Yep.
you know. And then he finally gets rid of the ball, and then the next play they send
Yeah.
5, you know. So
I
they
don't
like,
get
gave
it.
him no time. I thought that was
Have you ever seen?
I was just saying,
go-
on the
go
final
ahead.
play of the
Connors.
game, I don't get why they don't always blitz. Just don't even give him time to make the throw. But like, it was nice to see
Right.
that bullshit 1 second they put back on the clock. We were all thinking it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my
That
god,
was bullshit.
Well, how about this though? This is what you can
The
have a
runoff.
penalty in offense and there's no runoff.
yeah,
because
that's
they
a
got to the
loophole.
Yeah.
line or
Yeah.
some shit. Like, that was
Something weird about
It's
that.
that seems like a loophole.
But
yeah.
Connor,
What's up?
so you're back on the pod. I just want to hear your Aaron Glenn if you
Well,
Yeah.
your
I was at
thinking on Aaron
work,
Glenn.
on my lunch break a few
Should he
weeks
still
ago, and
die?
I heard my name slandered in regards to my previous Aaron Glenn takes. I just want to be on record.
What? That he should be
I
fired?
just, listen, Big C. I just want to be on record
that he's like
that
the worst person ever.
I was wrong, and even last year I was in support of Glenn. How often do I have to say this? I think now that he's
At least
Well,
one's
several
got
other
a
comments.
personnel, I'm happy for him. I think he might be a head coach next year. But hey, he's doing what he can.
Some things never get let go on this pod.
True.
That's
It's true. But I'm happy with Glenn so far.
Tradition.
Hopefully they can figure out this pass rush, which isn't totally his fault. They've lost a bunch of linemen, but I'm happy with him. He's got an A so far
right.
this year for me.
All right. We'll
All
forget
right.
you said that by the next pod.
2 pods from now we brought back up, I'm sure.
I just think,
Remember how cars had to-
I think the Lions had to get a little more creative this week until they figure out what to do with missing Hutch. I do think they trade for somebody here. I don't know if it's a Darius Smith or another maybe veteran player on a. If you want to know the Lions 2025 draft capital, I have it up right here. They have a first, a second, no third, who they gave up for Giovanni Manu. They gave up a third rounder. They have 1 fourth rounder, a 5th rounder, a 6 and 2 7ths. So, not a ton to work with there. A little bit to work with.
Yeah.
But,
I'd be
you
okay
gotta
with-
do what you gotta do to win a Super Bowl.
If we had like a really good player we could get, I'd be okay with giving up a first rounder. But I know some people in the media are like, let's give up 3 first rounders.
They'll never
just
do
to
that.
land.
Brad
know.
Holmes is too good at
No.
drafting.
That would be
to give up 3
stupid.
first rounders.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
they're
like-
going to see classic Brad Holmes here. I think all the home run hits are going to be ignored, and you're going to see him find some guy no one occurred could be a level of an upgrade that just helps platoon the cover for Hutch's loss. I just don't see the big one, and it would be awesome if it was a Garrett or a Crosby. But that's like, for one, we just have too many foundational players already, and those guys are foundational.
Do you
players.
think they?
I just
Do you
don't
think they
see the
trade
math.
for any sort of Sam linebacker type role with I don't know how long Derek Barnes is going to be out.
No, I think the emergence of Nowatzki.
You think they're just going to stick with
solve that to a
Nowatzki?
degree.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with that.
Right now, yeah.
I do.
They
was
did
just
inquire
curious.
to Hassan Reddick, but he got re-signed. So I don't. Yeah, I could see it though. Like that's another way. Like they might add not like a pure edge, but like another linebacker they could throw as like a rush linebacker type. I wouldn't be surprised if that's because I do think it's going to be a name we're not necessarily highlighting at the top of our list. That's all.
We'll see.
Well, right, yeah, and Zadarius Smith. Another reason people are inquiring about him is he's like I think 1.7 million against the cap. It's pretty cheap.
Would you trade a 4th rounder for him? Because that seems high for a 32-year-old guy who's not
there
even
might be a slight bidding war for him. So
Yeah, I'd trade a
really.
round for him.
I mean, he's a solid.
I mean,
player,
it wasn't
but-
just the Lions inquiring; it was like the Eagles, the Commanders. I think there's one other team that I can't recall off the top of my head, but there's multiple teams inquiring about him. Clearly, the Browns are going nowhere this year.
Yeah.
So they probably want to trade him before the deadline, before they lose him for nothing in a lost season.
Is Garrett? Is this his contract year for Garrett?
No. He's
got a
3
couple.
years.
No. He just signed a big one, so he's till 2027. He is locked up. So
He'd be very expensive.
Honestly, though, like if you get a Myles Garrett for the next 3 first round, I know that sounds ridiculous, but you're not going to want to pay those first rounders anyway. You got Myles Garrett on a mega contract. It could just be like one of those. I don't know, man. You got him and Hutch, him and Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson.
I mean, that would
You'd be
be
like-
ludicrous.
Super Bowl
It would be
favorites every year until like they die.
That's why I'm like, inquire, man. Just see what.
Yeah,
You know.
You gotta.
exactly.
And that doesn't include like Aleem McNeil up the middle.
Oh my God,
Dude,
he's
so-
locked
Line would
up.
be insanely good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You got Jack Campbell behind
Can't hurt
that
to
line.
ask, just like slide into the DMs, Can't hurt.
Yeah.
I think Campbell's coming more into his own this year too.
Yes.
I just want to say
He had a really good
Yeah.
game, I thought.
He,
Yeah, he did.
last year, I think you could say he lost a little bit at times, just not like reading fast enough, and that just comes with time, of course, especially the linebackers position in the NFL. But I think he's emerging more and more every week that he's out there.
And see, I think, I think he was one of the guys. Branch was one of them. But I think there were a couple guys that visually, I just felt like were really like answering the Aiden Hutchinson call, like the absence. Like, and I thought Branch looked like he was a man on another level trying to like be a leader. And so did Campbell. He was just flying around in that front seven, just an enforcer in the run game. Like, yeah, he looked really good in my opinion. Like, other than that one time he let what's his name get away for that long run on his blitz, but that was
Aaron
about-
Jones.
No,
Oh,
on
Darnold,
the
Darnold.
quarterback run.
Darnold,
Darnold
yeah,
got
yeah.
got
You're right.
loose
That was a
on his
very bad
blitz.
blitz by Campbell.
Yeah,
Very
he
bad
let
blitz.
He let Jones divert him. That was not a good blitz.
Yeah, you just kind of let it happen. I don't know what was going through his head on that play. I'd like to
But
know.
other than
Yeah.
that, like he just looks like and he's not flashy, but he's like a force inside on the run and stuff. He's always like ending plays wherever he's at. The running back doesn't go much further. It's like he's just like such a sure presence in there. That massive flying around frame.
And a shout out to our run defense again. Aside from that one touchdown run where we lost the edge on that one, we basically shut their run game down again. And the linebacker play was really good. Rodrigo, I think, stood out in that game.
Rodrigo.
I thought he had an excellent game.
Yep,
Campbell had
7
an
tackles
excellent
and a
game.
sack.
I mean, this defense is scrappy. They're willing. They're swarming. They may not be perfect, but man, and like Red Dog was saying earlier, we're covering crossing patterns now better than we ever have in there. I can remember. I mean,
turning into interceptions.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're a pretty good defense. They talk about complementary football, and right now I think our defense is complementing the offense. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rodrigo, UJ, I think we were talking about this before. Would you guys trade Rodrigo for Max Crosby?
I think everyone but you would say yes, Red Dog.
I mean, the
Those were the
Raiders
money.
wouldn't do that.
No.
Yeah.
So-
Raiders wouldn't.
I mean, if he was just a part of the deal.
I guess it depends on everything we're giving up.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
guess
to
I
say
had to see the
everything
whole
else
deal.
works. You would
A
send
first in
Rodrigo to Las
Rodrigo.
Vegas.
A first in Rodrigo.
Just-
I mean, it's not going to
I
happen.
couldn't do it.
I don't think he'd be
I don't-
included regardless.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
I
Dan
don't think the
Campbell
Raiders
would. I
really
just
need
don't
it.
think Dan Campbell would operate as trading one of their producing pieces like that. I just don't think he sees these guys like commodities to be bartered. I think he believes the guys he's chosen are his guys, and they'll keep coaching them up and figure it out. Like, I just don't think we would trade away a core guy
I think
like
to an
that.
extent, you're right. I think he does believe in his
Yeah.
guys. But
core guy.
at some point, it's a business.
They
man.
would
If you
trade
can
someone
improve
if
your
they need
team,
to, for sure.
you're going to do it. You know.
Someone.
If they can get better, they're gonna do
Sure.
it. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Having said that, I don't think he will be. We will be trading for Max
No,
Crosby.
I don't
so.
think anyone thinks
No,
No, I
unfortunately,
agree.
Be nice.
We trade Aiden Hutchinson for Max.
That'd
No,
be
I'm just
dumb.
kidding. At least he's healthy.
Yeah, I think we should send Max Crosby a Lions hat. Like they were talking about him, he's going around wearing Lions hats. We should send him one.
We should send him a live lion.
Well, I don't.
I think he'd get the message. He would
What
want
is
to
that,
be here.
Ricky Bobby training?
Yeah,
out there
right.
you're doing?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the budget, but we can try.
Than a live cougar.
I don't know. Why not? Let's send him a hat to wear in practice.
Simba.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he's
you
from
guys-
Michigan, so
I know.
it's not like
I know.
he's unaware.
Honestly,
You guys all think
He
they'll
let
make
a-
some kind of move, whether it's a big
They'll-
splash or not?
they will
I
trade
do.
for
I think
someone.
they'll- I
Get
think
somebody.
they'll do something. I don't know
They
what
need
it
bodies
is, but
in that
I think
room.
they'll do
There's
something.
just they're running out of options.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be
If
interesting.
he will be
Don't we-
coming back later this season
If
at some
he-
point, I think he
about
helps
Roderick
with the pass
Martin?
rush and the blitz. Huh?
Broderick Martin. He's coming back too.
Yeah, but he's not really.
Yeah,
his
I
guy.
wouldn't consider him
I mean,
an
yeah,
impactful piece, to be honest.
No.
So
not yet.
I'm glad DJ Reader is staying healthy. I will
Yes.
say that.
Oh, what about Kamish?
Um,
Isn't Kamish coming back late in the
Nah,
season?
probably
too?
not.
Oh, I thought he had a late.
Yeah, he
Strictly,
does, but
never
he
mind.
could come back if he's healthy. But I don't think he's. I think his injury is pretty much season.
I think it's unlikely.
Though I do like what I saw of Uku. I thought he battled in there. I mean, he's not getting off for sacks yet, but I think he sets an edge well, and he looks active in pass rush, if not super effective just yet. There's some intriguing guys still on this roster, so I think Dan Campbell even doesn't feel like immense pressure. He even said it's just a little bit more pass rush, and I'm not even sure he intends that to look external, but just maybe more of like a coaching thing. He didn't make it clear, as you might expect, but I don't think they're feeling the pressure like maybe some fans are.
Not yet.
Did you see Chris Christie was like
Oh,
hating
God.
on
Yeah.
Dan Campbell for like running the trick plays and stuff?
He's an
at
ass.
the
I'm
end
gonna
of the-
think of
near
a
the end
better
the Cowboys
person to
game.
not
Dan
give a
Campbell
shit
had a
about
great
what he
reply
thinks.
though.
What?
Where
Yeah,
What do you
see
say?
that?
Well, right, that's
Yeah.
what I saw today. I didn't even know
he's
Chris
like,
Christie
last
said
time
this
someone called me
statement until I heard
classic,
the ding.
classless, I was drinking wine straight out of the bottle or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like last time I sat down to have a bottle of wine.
Perfect.
I think it was the line.
Look, Chris, if you could even
No, he
do
said
the
drinking out of the
introductory
bottle.
up downs, then you have a
drinking out of a
voice.
bottle, okay.
It was something
Yeah.
about drinking out of a bottle.
If Chris Christie could do the up downs for the team, then I'll care what he has to say.
No, he'd be on the ATV like Matt Patricia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if the tires would hold the pressure.
These special jumbo tires. Yeah, we're fat shaming. What?
Yeah,
Whoa, I just said he was going to be on the ATV.
that's right. Hey, I'm fat. It's okay. I can say it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's just politicians need to shut up more. That's all.
Yeah, but, I mean, this is just a great game overall from both sides of the ball. But really, I mean, I think this is the fourth game in a row against Brian Flores and the Vikings that the Lions have scored 30 points. They just have their number offensively. It's always vaunted as like a high-profile defense, and then Goff just goes in there and shreds them. It's great. So
And, this defensive performance is underrated too by the score because they didn't give up 29 points on defense. That was a 21-point performance, right? Like that was
right, and then another short field at
Yeah,
after the
actually,
fake punt.
we did put the
So-
defense in
Right.
some bad spots. That's a great point, Red Dog.
But Campbell doesn't care about
This
that.
defense
That's
is
the
scrappy,
beauty
baby.
of this team. And it's the
Yeah,
beauty.
they got to respond.
It's
those
the beauty of
situations.
Campbell, though, too. He's so much trust in these guys. Hey, if we don't make the fake punt, so what? defense will step up. These guys, he trusts these guys to step up and do it. And I think
they respond to that too. I think even if it doesn't work, they still love the effort to go for it.
They relish it.
Yeah.
They relish it.
Absolutely.
This defense
Absolutely.
don't care where they get put on the field. They're gonna go do their job.
The defense is probably
they
telling
didn't-
Campbell.
Let Jack
to
Fox throw. Let Jack Fox throw some more
Yeah.
on these fake punts. The man
I
is.
want to see Jack Fox do
high-
that underhand fake punt where they look like they punted, but he throws like the underhand like rugby throw.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we
pass.
can just
I-
start
I-
at week
I-
18 if we've already wrapped up the 1 seed. We could just throw Jack Fox at
That would be
quarterback.
fun.
Oh
How
my
fun would
God.
that be?
That would be fun.
The trick plays are fun though. I hope they go back to Penei Sewell again and try to get him.
He's
a
going to
touchdown.
get
Yeah,
the
he
winning
deserves it.
touchdown in the Super Bowl. I can
It's
feel
coming,
it.
Bob. It's
Alignment.
coming. I'm telling
That
you.
would be sick. That would be amazing. I could see them doing something like that in the Super Bowl though too.
Oh, for
Absolutely.
sure.
In the Super Bowl, absolutely.
On
They will throw out
Gibbs-
every stop possible.
On Gibbs'
Yeah.
second touchdown, his block was
Hey,
ridiculous.
did anybody watch that second touchdown by Gibbs? He's running up the middle, and Harrison Smith is literally
He's looking at Amon Ra.
facing back. Gibbs ran right behind his back.
Yep.
Harrison Smith was facing the other way, and Gibbs ran right behind. Harrison Smith didn't even see him because he was paying attention to the receiver. It's just really
It was
funny
St.
if you look
Brown.
at the replay. It's hilarious. And here's one of the best safeties in the game, and just literally facing the wrong way.
Tells you how fast
What?
Ja hits the hole, though, man.
How
He was
fa-
already on him.
Well, how fast he hits the hole, but also the way the Lions like design the play calls
Yeah.
and just the
Yes.
diversion, the motion.
It was St. Brown. Of course he's going to be paying attention. He was covering
Well-
Ra.
right.
But-
And Ben Johnson. They had like an iffy start to the season, but you can consider that the preseason in a lot of ways. But it's clicking right now. That's for sure.
Hey, coordinator-wise, too, like Brian Branch talked about that coverage play, and that was dialed up by AG. Like, AG dialed up that coverage against the play call. Like, it was a perfect play call for the interception. Like Branch obviously has the instincts and awareness to execute it, but AG's putting him in the position. And the secondary clearly carried the front this week. I mean, I think that was showed just how much talent we have back there now.
Yeah.
The secondary is so much better.
A couple. Yeah. So a couple notes. I know we talked about Decker. He didn't have a great game, and Monty had an up and down game. As far as Campbell, there was a couple things just small things I questioned in this game from him, game management wise. First of all, at the end of the game, I was kind of agreeing with Greg Olson. Why wouldn't you try to kick it? Why wouldn't you have them try to return the kick instead of kicking it through the end zone? I didn't agree with that.
I thought about that,
personally.
yeah, I agree.
Because that
think
takes
it's
at least
less-
4 seconds off the clock, and this Vikings kicker has shown he has a monster leg. He could probably make it from 70 yards, maybe. But he has an elite leg. He's one of the better kickers in the league, and basically it would have taken just one good play to Justin Jefferson over the middle, and you're in field goal range already. I did not love especially because you get the ball to 35 now. It's not like you get it at the 20.
Right.
I like it. I
like it.
think he.
It
I
showed a
think
lack
they-
of faith in special teams.
No,
No.
I think
I don't
it's
know if
just you
it's
take a
It
much
worked out.
more like kickoff is it's an explosive play waiting to happen. Like
Yeah.
you give them a kickoff to return, and you don't know what happens. Like sure, you're right. It's kind of not trusted, but this is a weird new kickoff system. We had a long one return on us last week. I like the idea that you kick them deep, and then what they did exactly was perfect. Give them that long, unpressured play to just eat the clock, and then blitz them. It was excellently executed. My question was,
They kind
I
of
think
screwed
they
up. They
just
should have
didn't-
thrown a
I
screen
didn't-
or something. But
I didn't think they executed the eating of the clock to perfection. I think they could have left less time. They kneeled, 2 or 3 times? They could have ran one more play that ate a little more time instead of kneeling, and that would have given them no time left. I thought that would have been a little better. But as they did it, I thought it was fine.
And Z, don't they get it to 30? Not the 35.
The 30.
Yeah, 30, I thought, too.
sorry, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Either way,
Yeah.
it's only 20 yards they need. And,
It feels kind of nitpicky to me.
See,
More than that.
I say it's more likely they get 20 yards to kick a field goal than return a touchdown on a kickoff.
Yeah.
Especially the way the stats are with the kickoff this year. It's
But you remember, no
Almost
timeout.
Oh, he didn't need a
impossible.
touchdown.
Not impossible, but
He could
almost
have broken it to
impossible.
like the 40. They would have had like 8 or 7
Well,
seconds.
And no timeouts either.
I don't know. I disagree. Still,
Well, see, I
nitpicky.
was with you on
even in
that.
hindsight.
When I was watching the game, I was with you on that. Your opinion. I wanted him to squib a kick or something to make him run it.
I did also call
and
for a split
eat some
kick.
time off the clock, and they didn't
I
do
don't-
it, and it worked out. But I'm agreeing
Yeah.
with you on this one.
I want to hear what Bob has to say because
I
he agreed
just
with me.
no, I just think they do what they do. I mean, that's what they like to kick it out, and it's. I mean, they put a couple real short, but I don't. Why mess around at that point?
I thought the
I'm
fake
with
punt
you.
was more
Hey,
egregious than the kicking it out of the end
That's our
zone.
argument for anybody who doubts the Lions. We do what we do. That's it.
Well, it is.
I mean,
we just do what we do.
I didn't mind the fake punt because it was early in the game, so even a
I
mistake
just felt
there,
like they didn't even have a good
It
read
was-
on that play.
they had plenty of time.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Jalen Reeves, maybe. Yeah, somebody was talking on the radio. They're like, I wonder if he had the ability to change it at the line there and call it to himself.
Campbell
I
said they
I
got
don't know
the
how those
look.
calls come in on
Yeah.
the fake.
Campbell said they got the look, so it wasn't audibled out, and then they just missed a few pieces of execution. He thinks they might have had it if they just executed a little
It seemed
better.
like the Vikings were
But,
all over that from the get-go.
I
If
oh, they
that's the
ate it up.
biggest criticism of Campbell, though, that he didn't squib the kick. I mean, that's pretty minor.
Pretty,
I
yeah,
mean,
he did say minute or small. I think like minute,
How can you
microscopic,
criticize Campbell?
non-existent, silly.
You look at that locker room celebration.
Would've been better.
Those guys play for that guy, man. They
Hell
play
yeah,
as much for that guy as they do for themselves or they do for anything, man.
I pod
Campbell-
for that guy.
Holy shit! I mean, that guy's just. I don't know. I don't know if it's luck or kismet or fate or whatever how we got Campbell on this team, but god damn it, it's just awesome.
I know.
We're so blessed
whole-
to have this guy as our head coach.
So
the whole
blessed.
thing's worked out so nicely. Brad Holmes and him, they were hired
Sheila.
separately, right? But
Yeah.
there's
It
simpatico
just
right away.
clicked.
I mean,
Right.
they
It
see the
just
game the
clicked.
same, and that they
Well,
coordinators.
Suddenly, we're like one of the
It's
most
worked out.
respected organizations in the league. Like those athletic polls and stuff.
definitely.
Like
Well-
Brad Holmes is like
Yeah.
top 8, top 5, and it's like so
Yeah.
crazy to see.
crazy because and that's why
Yeah.
whenever we come with this, Connor, it's like you gotta go to the top. It's Sheila, baby. Like what? Like come on, man. Like what did she do? She came in, took this thing over, went to Spielman. Like great choice as picking a consultant like right away, and then like hiring Brad, listening to him, and hiring Dan, and like it's just
Yeah.
like. Oh man, she's done nothing short of like an absolutely stellar, out of this world job, taking over her father's organization and running it better than he ever dreamed of. Like it's just,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
killing it.
So, you guys, I have some breaking news actually on the podcast here for
Uh-oh.
Lions. It's not good news. Lions
No!
wide this is from Adam Schefter. It's legit, Jackie. But it's a real
No.
Adam Schefter.
Better-
Jameson Williams is looking at a 2-game suspension for violating NFL's performance-enhancing substance policy.
What?
From
What?
Oh no!
Oh my god! 2 games
What?
That's
He's
not
suspension.
good.
skinny.
yeah.
That's so weird. What the hell? is that?
So that would mean,
J-Mo.
you know,
What does that mean?
so the Lions' next 2 games here are the Titans and then at Green Bay.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
obviously
my
the Titans
God.
is
Green
fine,
Bay,
but the
you-
Green Bay one would be killer.
2 games. I mean, that's not the end of the world, but what the fuck, JMO? Sorry, French people. I mean, excuse my French
How
people.
many suspensions has
Hmm.
J-Mo
So
that
had?
sucks.
If he
Oh.
appeals it, sometimes that gives them a week, but that would mean Packers and Texans. So if I was going to take it now, usually they don't overturn these things. So
The hell, JMO? Man, you've just been like doing so good.
He was looking pretty jacked though. I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm out on JMO, guys. Got him. Trade
So,
him. Hey, trade him for Myles Garrett. No, I'm
well,
just kidding.
the Laporta fantasy owners might applaud that. Maybe he'll get a look or
That's
2 more.
right.
They might-
and the Amon Ra ones for that matter. Like, and like, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so disappointed right
yeah,
now.
that
If
is
that's true.
disappointing. It's very disappointing.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, is this like
I
he
mean,
ate
these
some
guys
like
take so
poppy
many-
seed like
How do you
buns
fail
and like
that?
got like
Oh,
popped
that's
or
so
something
annoying.
or like
Yeah,
So
they-
hold on,
yeah, don't-
Jameson Williams comment. Eric Woodyard is the reporter on this. Jameson Williams is disappointed with the current suspension. but says he has no choice but to take it on the chin. I'm in good spirits, just ready to get back with my brothers as soon as possible. Well, good news is that
What does that mean?
good
He didn't
news is
deny
that he is used to this being away from the facility during the season.
Yeah.
So it won't be
Come on,
unfamiliar
J-Mo.
territory.
He's
but
prepared for it.
God damn it!
Missing him for the
I
Packers
want to know
game is
what
brutal.
drugs.
Hey, but
They do such strict testing though. Maybe I mean a lot of these guys they take
It's a
something they don't
supplement.
realize something is in there.
true.
They're just doing what somebody like one of their personal trainers told them to do, or like
It's
these
just the
guys have
league.
outside trainers outside the Lions. I mean the Lions try to monitor all that, but I don't know this. I don't know. I'm just guessing it maybe what
It's
happened
just
here.
You're
the
still
league-
responsible for whatever you
Right,
put in your
right.
body if you're hiring these
Sure.
guys.
The
Yeah,
league's
before you
just
put your
stacking
body,
it
go to the
against us
trainer of the
more.
Lions and ask.
Exactly.
Detroit versus
Yeah.
everybody. J-Mo's innocent.
Yeah, but you know,
Maybe it was like something in a Coney dog or something.
You
that
just-
it
you
had.
know, Lafayette,
The big
Lafayette.
J-Mo.
You never know what's
Yeah,
in those.
You
You never know what's in those dogs. So
You don't know. No one knows. No one
That'd be
knows
crazy if
what's
they
in
had
those.
roids in the Lafayette Conies. That's just
oh my god.
Oh man, the thing but we're missing receiving, but man, he's an excellent downfield blocker. I mean, he's fantastic
Yeah.
downfield blocker.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I think we're gonna miss that more than his receiving, to be honest with you.
Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's a killer, especially with the Packers. But it looks like he's taking it now.
I'm-
So we will not have JMO for the Titans or the Packers game.
I'm less concerned about like the outcomes of the next two games, and I'm just so utterly disappointed that J-Mo's back in this freaking spot again. Like, come on, man! I thought
yeah.
we grew past this. I hope it's something
Yeah,
bullshit. And it
self-inflicted.
gets...
Self-inflicted.
The first one won't be bad. I mean, we're 11.5 point favorites, I think, coming
Yes.
into this next game.
Our first
Packers
trap game on the
Pack-
schedule.
Connor and I will be
That's
there.
true.
We're going.
All right.
So.
Nice.
I'm
Good.
kind of
Nice.
toying with
All
that
right,
Lambeau
cool.
game. I don't know.
Connor, take over the spot for J-Mo. You're in.
Yeah, you were a runner back in the day.
I
You
can
can
do it,
run.
yeah.
Strap up, cross country. He's coming
I'll
back
get
to
in
serve
there.
you well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just a 2-game contract.
He won't be good on the short routes. He's
Oh
just
yeah,
got to run the
you
long
know how
routes.
routes.
lethal
He's
I
just-
am
he just
on
did-
distance.
Distance runner.
The cornerback will be
I
exhausted
am.
by the
I am
time.
undefeated at Lambeau.
He's too
I've
endurance.
2-0 lifetime watching the Lions at Lambeau. So
Nice.
maybe they
Right.
should sign me. I
That
could
is-
sit on the
that's awesome.
sidelines and we'll just win because of that.
All right,
Yeah.
we need to start the ballot or the whatever the thing where people sign the signatures. Let's get going.
Yeah. The thing
Connor,
people
sign
sign.
Connor.
I might have to buy a
You
ticket.
guys going to the
Well, there you-
Pegasus when you're down there? You guys going to the Pegasus?
I don't know. We don't. I
Probably
don't know what we're
not,
doing yet.
Just 'cause
Okay.
But
we'll be doing other stuff.
You going to
gotta
Cafe
eat somewhere.
Demango?
yeah, for a late night drink.
I love
Yeah.
Cafe Demango.
That's a good spot.
I was there for work last week, and we went there. They're only open 2 nights a week, Friday and Saturday. I stumbled drunk out of that place and wound up 2 hours late for work in the morning. Had a great time, though, man. Awesome time. Larry, the owner of Cafe Demango, love you, man. You're awesome, dude. That
I hope
place
he's
is,
listening.
As long as you're
that place is
you're
the
on time
best.
for the pot, that's fine.
Better not hope your work hears about this.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm getting too old to worry about that shit.
It's funny.
This is for all the holidays you've worked through.
All right. So I think it's gonna wrap
On
it up
that
for
note-
us here. Yeah, on that note.
Did I do that on that note? Was I?
You got on
You did that on
Oh,
that note,
yeah.
too,
Zoo,
Oh,
you
man.
Jay.
Damn it.
But I'm glad if that news broke, we're at least recording the
Yeah.
pod.
Hey,
while
breaking
that broke.
news.
Yeah, we're
Dude, Our
scoopers.
pod,
Yeah.
the breaking news pod.
It'll be breaking
We're
news when everyone
journalists
hears
now.
this 12 hours later.
I don't know if we have the breaking news
for
sound
the press
effect we can put in
pass.
there, but like on the desk. Anyways,
should
coming
use
across
that
the
to
desk right now,
apply
Jameson
to the
Williams,
Lions.
the wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, suspended 2 games
Son of a bitch.
for the performance-enhancing substances. Anyways,
Well,
all right.
Rod just went for 200 yards next week. Great. That's cool.
Indeed. So we will wrap it up here. But before we do, we want to thank our producer,
Kid
Jay!
for crushing
Best
on the
in the
pod every
the
single
best.
week.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Keep 'em
Kid
down.
Jay. crushing it every week. Want to thank SidelineReport.com for supporting the podcast. Apple, Spotify, or your podcast. Please download. Please subscribe. Please leave a review. And then, of course, follow us on social media. Instagram at Drinking the Blue Kool Aid. At Twitter /X at Drinking Lions. And then, of course, on YouTube, where we have most of our episodes posted up there the day after we record. That is at DTBK_Lions, or just type in Drinking the Blue Kool Aid. You'll find us on there. Subscribe to that channel so you get alerted anytime a new video goes up or we go live. So subscribe to that channel. We appreciate it.
See, can I ask
and
you,
you'll be
can I ask
entertained.
you a question?
So you also appreciate it.
When you spell Kool-Aid, is it ADE or AID?
What are you talking about?
Go ahead, UJ.
And when you spell Kool-Aid, is it ADE at the end or AID?
Oh, is it lemonade or something?
Can
You're
you not
confusing our
answer that?
listeners, UJ. You're confusing our listeners, UJ. AID.
Well, I'm confused myself.
You're confusing Z and me.
I'm confused by the question.
Yeah.
No,
Kool-Aid. Is it AID or AD?
ADE. Or is it AID?
What?
AID.
I thought you were about to do a one-liner on
AID.
us.
Well, how long have you been doing this pod, DJ?
I was.
UJ's had one too many Wellers tonight. He's forgotten how to spell Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
Russell's.
Oh,
not
sorry.
Weller's.
Did you just come out of Cafe de Mongo, UJ?
Yeah, right.
UJ
Just
thought-
stumbled out.
He's trying to redeem himself for being on that note, and he wanted to make a
He's been
second
on
on
that
that
noted
note.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been double on that noted.
I double on that noted tonight.
We should do a stat
that's a
cast.
first.
Who's been on that noted the most in the podcast?
This is historical performance
Oh,
by
boy,
My
you.
oh,
dog's
boy,
got like
boy.
a 21
Only one other
point
person
lead,
has
but
been.
you're catching up, UJ.
Whoa! What?
Hey, Connor, it's great to have you back,
Thank
buddy.
you. Yeah.
It's great to have
Definitely
you
gonna get on
back.
some more.
So
Yeah.
good. So good to have you back.
Noise.
Absolutely. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll be back later this week. We'll release an episode on
that note.
Thursday previewing the Lions hosting the Tennessee Titans. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And last but not least, as always,
Go.
go.